G'day folks, it's Cortezerino. I'm hanging out in the creepy pit of death. Look at that bunny. He succumbed to the creepy pit of death. I don't know what he's up to. But when we start doing the adventure map, mate, you are going to be toast. You're going to be eaten. So, this is... Oh, if you heard that, this is a creepy little door. So when you come out here, this middle fence gate gets pushed up. Fence gate. The fence post gets pushed up, so the nether brick ones will join together, and the spruce will join together, or dark oak will join together, and there's no getting out. So once you're in the creepy pit of death, all the guys up here will go, "Oh, dinner time," and come out and spear you. But there is a way out of the creepy pit of death. It's just over here. It's a tiny bit parkoury, but only people who suck at parkour like me should have any trouble with it. So this was fun. I was just digging a big passageway through this hill for one of the paths on my adventure map, and I popped out here right at a jungle temple. And if we're lucky, like in my single player world, the jungles there were really few and far between. I've only found two, I think, but in one of them there was like 5, 6 or 7 jungle temples. And so I found this one. I know there's another one way over there. So if we're lucky, there's going to be heaps. And if there is, I can sort of make them as all the same thing. Like I had planned to have nether portals in all of them. So in this adventure map, there would be a nether part of the map. And if you saw a jungle temple, you'd know, oh, cool, we can go there and skip to another area, but got to watch out for other players. But I don't think that's going to work, because this area in the nether is just not suited to that at all. We've got railways running everywhere, and there's a lot of open space and a lot of lava. So I might put priests in here and maybe have an enchanting table in each of these. So, you know, if you need to do enchanting, jungle temples are the way to go. So I've set this up as like a little tribal village. All these little huts are the same sort of design, but I've modified each one, so each is just a little bit different. And I might even turn this one into a blacksmith, so there'd be like an anvil or something in here. So if you missed it on a previous episode, the idea of this adventure map is a place where we can do PvP, but in a really big open area. So I'm just building it in this huge jungle, and I'll have paths leading everywhere, and you start with nothing, and you won't be able to break any blocks or place any blocks, so you're fully reliant on what I leave for you. So like an anvil, an enchanting table, they'll be pretty handy to know where those are. And I'm not going to have chests lying around. Like this has just got my building supplies in them, but I'll get rid of all of them. You'll be reliant on farms and things, so you wouldn't be allowed to come over here and break this melon. But I've set it up so it can be broken by machinery, and I've got a few more plants up here, and so there's only one place that the melon can grow, and I should hide that. Oh, I haven't hidden that very well. I've got to fix that, and the pistons will just push them up and break them for you. So there's a bit of food, and this path will continue on, but I haven't built too much more in that direction. And I think this clever little door that I've got will be good if you're getting chased by people. So let's say you've been through this area, you figured out how that gate works, and you're out there and another team attacks, and they're a lot stronger. You know, you can come down here to get away from them. So I've got this gate on a little timer, so it will eventually unlock all by itself. But you can come through here and open it up for your friends to get through, and then once everyone's through, it'll lock, and then these guys will be stuck on that side for an extra minute or two and allow you time to escape. And I've got it on a very short timer at the moment, just for my own sake, because I'm building around here and I don't want to be just waiting for that all the time. So this tunnel here is kind of hidden as well. It's a bit of a drain pipe, and I've hidden the entrance. So people coming through here will probably miss that little side tunnel, and will probably only find it when they come from the other direction. This one was the original tunnel I dug, and then I dug the one beside it, because when I popped out the other side and found the jungle temple, I wanted a passage that was coming straight at the temple, so you could have that big pit there and wouldn't be coming in from the side. So this is pretty plain, but I've put a few more sort of farms in here for people to get equipped, because if you're coming down here, you probably have nothing at the moment. Although I will probably have it that you get to start with wooden swords, because punching a witch to death takes forever. Well, I wasn't able to do it. I got bored of it and ended up pulling out my sword. Did we get anything? Yes, we did. So got some beasties here that you can punch to death, and they're standing on hoppers. So if you've got a guy in here with armor, well, you'd have your wooden sword. If you have a guy in here with armor, you'll be able to grab his armor off him or get his weapon, whatever he's carrying. So you can collect some of the stuff if you're close enough, otherwise stuff will fall down into here. So basically what I've got is a big dark room, and when you press this button, water gets dispensed and it pushes everything down to here so you can kill it. I didn't actually use dispensers because all my string is back at my base. So I've just got a piston with a bunch of slime blocks on it, and behind it some water. So when you push this, it goes on to about a 15-second delay for that. Gives the water enough time to flow down here, and the piston pushes up again and blocks the water off. And I've got another one up here, which you're less likely to get a guy that you're going to hit, but this is one where they just fall down by themselves, and I've got a magma block in there. So you'd go, ooh, arrows, and you'd probably take the rotten flesh too, because you might be able to trade that with a priest, or even eat it if you get really, really desperate. So I originally planned for us to start with absolutely nothing. I think wooden swords would be necessary, because I had a witch fall onto that magma block a while ago, and I was punching and punching and punching this witch, and she would not die. So I think a wooden sword would be necessary. And have I got any wood on me? Because I'm curious. I've left these furnaces sort of here and there around the map, thinking, oh well, if someone kills a zombie that's carrying some coal, they might be able to cook up some food, or if they get some sticks that they don't need, they might be able to make or use that to cook something. But I just want to... Alright, let's take that. Ooh, let's get my armor back on. We don't want to run into trouble. Let's just try making a wooden sword. So if we all get one to start with, when we upgrade the swords, can you use that as fuel? Have I got something to cook? I should have something to cook. Yes, I do. Do you work as fuel? Yes! Cool, we are starting with wooden swords. So I'll have pigmen, like an overworld gold farm somewhere as well. So you'll be able to get the swords by making them cranky. So you'll be able to hit them and make them cranky. You can get some gold nuggets, get the gold swords, and then once you've done that, you can use your wooden sword as fuel. So that will be pretty cool. And I've done one more path up this way. So I got the jump boost working with my new beacon. And this is the only other path I've done, because I was doing all that building over there, digging tunnels and doing all boring stuff like making those sort of mob farms. And the reason I'm here in the jungle is to do tree houses. So I thought it was about time I started to... Do you call these suspension bridges? I'm not sure. But this is a kind of like a wooden suspension bridge. Turned out great. So I think I'm going to do quite a few more of these. And the sun is starting to set. When we play this, we won't be able to sleep. So even though there's a couple of lights around here, this would not be a brilliant spot to spend the night. And then you have to decide if you want to spend the night in one area and wait till daylight, or because you lose time if you do that, or if you want to just brave it. And I guess it depends how well equipped you are. So I was probably up late enough to get beasties. So I've built a treehouse, and it's really well hidden, so you can just see up there some fence posts, but if you don't notice that, you're not really going to notice it on the way in. So there's nothing really around here. I've just put a few little platforms of nothing. but there's kind of a bit of a path, and see, oh yeah, you could just see that treehouse if you happen to look up there. And oh, hello, ouch, go away. Oh, wicked. So that's a sign of things to come. You'd love that if you were playing the adventure map. You'd have iron already. I didn't know little baby guys drop stuff. So anyway, this treehouse, pretty well hidden. If you didn't look up and spot it earlier, you would walk straight by it unless you turned around. And there it is. So there's just a little treehouse. And I plan to do bigger ones. And I have big plans for this. This is kind of like another farm. So nice little doorway here, and it's not too much to it, but I like my tree houses to be pretty natural, so like leaf floors, leaf ceilings where I can, and I've also got a little farm out here just on the top of some trees. So like I said before, you wouldn't be able to break the blocks, but the plan is for me to put a farmer up here, a villager farmer, so he can't escape. I think. I went to a lot of effort to make sure there's nowhere he can sort of get out. And it should be zombie proof, so zombies can't get in to kill him. But the idea is that he would just farm this wheat for you. And you wouldn't get much because you'd probably come along and he's maybe dropped one bit of wheat because I'll fill his inventory up with seeds. So if you don't know that, they've got 8 inventory slots. So if you give them 8 stacks of seeds, they will keep planting and knocking out the wheat, but they'll drop all the wheat. So I was thinking, like, we can't break the blocks ourselves, but I think I'll allow bone mealing. So with all these bones that you're collecting, they're going to be pretty useless. Unless you come up here, you can bone meal all his wheat, and I'm guessing as soon as it's been bone mealed, he will harvest it for you. That's the plan. I don't know if it'll work, and I think I'm going to hold off on putting villages into this map until I know where they're all going. Another thing about this map, I'm noticing that these paths I'm making are taking forever, and I don't want the whole thing to be paved and having to build so much, because this will never get done basically. So what I want to do is have basically built paths in a big loop all around the area that I want the PvP to basically take place. And then in the center I can clear a few of these trees out so you can see things a bit better, and then I won't need to put paths all over the place. I can just do individual buildings and you'll be able to see them and know that it's in the area, and that will speed things up quite a bit. So let's head out of this little treehouse, and I think the only other thing that I've really built here, I've only just started on, and I think I'm going to need to change it. So the path just wanders up here, and I wanted to try a new material. So I brought in sandstone, but I'm kind of, it's okay, but everything here looks too brand new. I'm thinking, I didn't know what this area was going to be. I thought I'd make it a sort of castle, maybe with another villager or 2 in it. But I've kind of changed my mind, because up one of these trees is a perfect spot for a treehouse, and it's a bit strange to have a treehouse on top of a castle. So let's see if I can... Is this the way to get up? Yeah, so this would be a really cool spot for another treehouse. It's up nice and high. We've got a good flat bit here, a few more down there. I mean, I could make a little treehouse village up here, basically. Oh, it's even got access to the ground. Last time I was up here, it was covered in cloud, so it was a bit hard to see where everything went. Yeah, I can build a treehouse city here, so I think I will ditch the idea of that castle, and I don't want to take down everything I've just built, so I might just change it into more of a ruin. And I can get down here, which means I think the sandstone will have to go, the fountain will have to go. It wouldn't be there if there was a ruin. This wall can stay. I'll just have to make it look overgrown. So I think you'll come up here, and do a little loop, and I might do a bridge over here, and then under the bridge we can make like a castle gate sort of thing that's crumbled to bits, and just some crumbly bits of ruin here. And I'll have one path lead off probably into that hill, because there's a neat little cliff face there, and I've never built a you know those houses in the sides of cliffs. I think I want to do like a passage sort of thing along the cliff wall there, and just have some fun with it. So I will send one path off there, and I'll have another path going up, and we can build a treehouse city. But before I can do that, I've pretty much run out of andesite. So we're going to have to head back to Diamond City, because I can't be bothered just mining here for andesite. So I'll go back to Diamond City, and I'll show you another project that I've got to get started on, because I can't spend all my time here. And I think I can pearl. You wouldn't think I can make the distance here, but let's see if we can get back to that main start. Can we make it? Yes. Lovely. I asked in my previous episode for suggestions, and whatever you suggest I'm going to build for my 50 sub special. And I've had 3 suggestions or requests, 2 from Addictive G. I'm not sure she even knows I'm doing a 50 sub special. She might just be asking me for stuff. And another one from a subscriber, and he wants me to build a what do you call them? A water spillway, so like a dam where you can release water with pistons. But he also wants to give like a redstone output, so for that, basically the water flowing through to generate power to do something else. And I had a great idea for that. In my single player world, I'm going to build it. But then the 2 requests from Addie, one was for redstone dice, which I'm not sure where she wants it, so I just did a tutorial. So I can't use that for my 50 sub special now. And the other one was an item sorter for this building here. This is going to be a warehouse sort of junk exchange for the server. So all the items we don't want, we can just place in here, and then other guys can come in and get it. So I'm going to do the 50 sub special beginning with that spillway build on my single player world, so I can't use this one either. So even though I've had 3 requests, I've only got 1 at the moment for my 50 sub special, and I'm going to go to town on it. I've got some pretty fun ideas. It's going to be a whole redstone contraption all of itself, but in the meantime we have to do an item sorter for this, and I've come up with a design for it because it needs to be able to sort every item in the game. Now that's a bit tricky without building a massive one that's going to cause a ton of lag. And so I came up with an idea, sort of like my idea for the fastest way to drain the ocean monument, when I couldn't come up with a faster way to do it. So I said, well, we're just not going to drain the ocean monument, and I started using sugarcane to catch the guardians, and that way you didn't have to drain the water. This one, the best way to sort every item in the game without building a massive item sorter with tons and tons of hoppers, the best way to do it is to not sort them at all. So let's just pop into my creative world, and I'll show you the design I've come up with. So it'll be this wide, but this is infinitely expandable. It can go the entire length of the warehouse. So you've got all your chests that will just fill up, and underneath, it doesn't look like much on top. I specifically designed it this way. I wanted all the mechanics underneath, and I sort of wanted the mechanics underneath where you're walking. And to do that, I had to keep everything pretty narrow, so it goes down pretty deep. So you have this this minecart here, and you've got named items in there. I've just named them number 1. So if you're looking for redstone lamps, you put a redstone lamp in the front and press go. And this works as a mobile item sorter. Let's just pick an item, and I'm sure I've got dirt in there. I'd have to have dirt in there. Let's send him off. Yep, I've got dirt in the first one there, so the lights are just flicking on as the minecart's running along, but they're not turning on. And you're back, and I haven't linked you up yet, but this one will turn on here when that's on, just to say, hey, I'm in this aisle. And so yeah, you could come along here and go, oh yeah, get some dirt back, and this chest has dirt in it, and there it is. Okay guys, that's it from me. I think I've shown you everything there is to see. Bit of a funny place to end the episode on a creative world, but I haven't been able to build this yet because, like I said, I need to, well, first find out from Addictive G if this is what she has in mind, if she would like this, and exactly where she wants it, because I would hate to have to move that redstone later. So, cheers from me. I'm Cortezerino. See you later.